Hi, I'm Ray with another podcast episode. This one, I've got no theme. I've got nothing to talk about. Well, that makes a nice change, you'll say. A bit of peace and quiet. No, seriously, I've been wondering what to do. And I've looked back at over 40, is it heading for 50 episodes now? And I just don't know what to talk about next. I've actually run out of things to talk about. So a couple of people have said, why don't you just sort of ramble on as usual? When I've been asking for suggestions. There's a hill near us, so I will ramble on. There's a hill called Truleigh Hill. That's Truleigh, Truleigh Hill. Look it up on the map. It's at the back of Shoreham by Sea, West Sussex. Up there is a bungalow. Now, back in the old days, in the 50s, they used to build bungalows on hills. Mysterious bungalows they were. Not for people to live in, but they used to fill them with radio gear. And this one up on Truleigh Hill is still used. I think it's still full of radio gear. There's another bungalow. Where is it? It used to be up on the old radar site at Ventnor on the Isle of Wight, the southern bit of the island. And what is under these bungalows, right, is all top secret. Well, it's not anymore. Tunnels, rooms, big rooms and tunnels full of electrical gear, radar stuff, radio communications equipment, generators, even dormitories for people to sleep, and kitchens and catering and you name it, everything. Fantastic places. I've never been down one of these tunnels and explored. I've seen a video on YouTube of the one at Ventnor on the Isle of Wight. Yes, someone broke it. Listen to those seagulls. Someone broke in and did some video of the whole thing, the whole complex. Absolutely amazing. Apparently now it's been sealed off with concrete properly. It had already been sealed off, but they found another entrance. The one up at Truleigh Hill, a friend of mine has actually been down there and he's looked round because he was in the sort of radio communications business. So he was actually working up there on aerials and transmitting equipment. So he did actually get to go and have a look at the tunnels and all the rooms underneath. Fantastic. I'd love to go down there. There's another place, when I was back in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, when I was a kid, people used to say that there are tunnels and secret passages and rooms under Brooklands. Now, Brooklands boating lake is between Worthing and Lancing on the seafront. Have a look on the map there. You just see a big lake and a big green. And apparently there was rooms and tunnels under this green, and it's all nuclear bunkers and top secret stuff. I don't know whether it was. It was probably just a reservoir. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't be at sea level, would it? We've got a reservoir up high down, up the hill. I used to think that was something secret, but if you listen, there's these sort of vents and drain covers. You can hear a load of rushing water. So that is purely a reservoir. But the one at Brooklands, we could find no way in, no sign of any underground stuff at all, until we came across this pipe sticking out of the ground in the bushes. It was a pipe painted green with a kind of curled over, like U shape over at the top. And we listened, and it sounded echoey down there. No water, like it was a big room. And we wondered whether that was some sort of vent pipe for air conditioning and stuff for the rooms underneath. Fantastic. We never did find any other entrance. I don't know whether it's a nuclear bunker or a top secret place or not. We never did find out. I still don't know. I can't really go over there today, and start digging. I suppose I could start digging in the middle of the green, couldn't I? No, it's probably at least 100 feet down or more, if there is anything there. The Isle of Wight one, there's all the aerials on top of the old radar hill. It's right up the... Is it Boniface Down? Can't remember what it's called. But we're off to the Isle of Wight. We often go over there. We're going over there shortly. And I always go up the hill because all the radio aerials are up there. The NATS aerial, that's the National Air Traffic Service or whatever it is. Various other aerials, all sorts of microwave aerials up there, and loads of stuff. And a fantastic view. I can see right across to Worthing, where I am now, my hometown. So we'll be going over there in a few days' time, which will be nice. Hope the weather's all right. I think there are tunnels all over the UK, tunnels and rooms and underground bunkers. I've been to Dover. Is it to Hellfire Corner? Dover, where there's all tunnels in the chalk. and you can go through, it's all open to the public, you can go through these tunnels, look at all the rooms that they've sort of reconstructed as they were originally, with radio gear and tables and maps and all this sort of stuff. That's fascinating to walk around there and just imagine going back in time when that was all live and active. And you can look out, because that was the whole point of it. It's, you know, at Dover, the White Cliffs and all that. You can look out across the sea, the channel. So that's quite an amazing place to go to. The one at Ventnor, that was part of the Chain Home, wasn't it? You know, the radar system. Look up Chain Home radar if you're interested. That was all part of that. There were wooden towers, huge wooden towers. I think they were there until the 60s, then they were taken down. It's a shame that none of it has been preserved. It would cost millions, obviously, but it seems such a shame to let especially the Isle of Wight one, to let the place just, apparently water's seeping in. I saw on the video water's dripping in there, into the tunnels now, into the rooms. The floors, some of the suspended wooden floors, are rotten and dangerous. This is why they've sealed it off. They don't want people down there. It's a shame it can't be restored, even if it would cost a few million, which no doubt it would. I think it would be money well spent. It's history, isn't it? Of course, on the Isle of Wight, there's also the Needles. You can go down various tunnels there, and you walk through this long tunnel. You come to this sort of little room where you can look out again right across the English Channel. Fantastic. I've been there a few times. Of course, it's chalk, isn't it? Down here on the south coast, it's all chalk. I suppose it's easier. Is it easy to dig through chalk? I've no idea. Probably better than clay and rocks and things. But the Needles, yeah, that's another fascinating place to go to. I've often wondered how many other tunnels and bunkers are there that we don't know about. There are obviously nuclear bunkers that are in use today, you know, with all the gear down there, radio gear and satellite communication, whatever they've got. They're obviously in use today, but no one knows where they are. But back then, in the 50s, early 60s, there were loads of air raid shelters still around in the woods and in parks, left over from the war years, of course. And they were exciting places to go exploring as a kid. We often went out into the woods looking for undiscovered air raid shelters and things. I don't know, it was all good fun. As I said before in many of my podcast episodes, as kids going over to the woods, that was just the highlight of everything. It was amazing. Happy days. We used to go up the Downs, that's the South Downs behind where I am in Worthing. Used to go up there a lot in the school holidays, and we found a little brick hut. Well, I say a hut, it was about 4 foot cube, 4 foot square, with a sort of little sloping felt roof. And it just appeared there one day. It was new, someone had built it, and we didn't know what it was, and there was this stick out of it, and I thought, that's an aerial. I must have been, 10 years old, perhaps 12 years old, can't remember. It looked like an aerial. And I was interested in radio, even back then, since I was about 5 years old. So the next time I went up there, I took a little pocket transistor radio with me, and I put it near this aerial. And I heard all this interference on my transistor radio, and what sounded like sort of very fast Morse code, some sort of data. That was when was that? Early 60s, I suppose. This was obviously some, I don't know, secret, well, as far as I was concerned at that age, it was some secret transmitting device, perhaps owned by spies or whatever. I mean, obviously it wasn't spies. They don't build brick huts in woods with transmitters and aerials. But it was there for about a month. I suppose it was about a month after I'd first discovered it. I went back up there. It had gone. How peculiar. The bricks had gone. Everything had gone. And you could see where it was. The freshly dug sort of earth. It had just gone. I don't know whether they ran a mains cable to it or whether it was some battery-operated device. Perhaps there were big car batteries in there or something. But it had disappeared. It was only there for about 4 weeks. Never did find out what it was. So that was... I should have broken into the hut. No, perhaps not. No, it had a steel door on it, actually, with more than just a padlock. So whatever it was pretty secret. Top secret. Cold War stuff, possibly. After the discovery of the clandestine device in the woods, I was always looking out for aerials and peculiar things, secret type, what I thought were Cold War things, because the Cold War, as you know, was at its height in the 60s. Tuning around on shortwave was very, very interesting. all sorts of stuff going on. But yeah, back to the woods. Things did used to pop up. Some of them were pirate radio transmitters. I came across one or two of those in my travels in the 60s. Yeah, you'd find a transmitter, car batteries, a cassette tape recorder, all set up and ready to fire up on Sunday morning to put out the pirate radio station, the music, the jingles, all great fun. There were so many things to do. I know I'm always on about the woods. You're going to say now, you're always on about the woods, never the beach. I don't like the beach. Shops, I hate shopping. Supermarkets, I won't go on to that. We're supposed to be talking about tunnels. No, we're not. We're supposed to be talking about anything. Supermarkets, where people leave the trolley across the aisle. I had an email from Claire the other day. Hello, Claire, if you're listening. In Wisconsin. I can never say it. Wisconsin. I can never say it. Some lovely names in America, aren't there? Like Tulsa. That's a lovely name, isn't it? Tulsa, I like that. Carolina. There are some lovely names. Of course, a lot of them are taken from the UK. Birmingham, for example. Load of names. If you look at the map of the USA, you'll see a load of names there. You think, well, hang on a minute, that's in England. I think there's Southampton, there's all sorts. Yeah, I do like a lot of the American place names. I expect they've got underground bunkers and tunnels all over America. I expect every country has. Must be very interesting. I'd love to go down to some of these tunnels. But there we are. You never know. There might be something next door to where you live. You might think it's quite a innocent household next door, you know, mum, dad, couple of kids. You might think, oh, that's all quite normal. But there might be under their house an entrance to a huge underground bunker. You don't know. What was that? There was a couple of spies, weren't there? Somewhere in the UK, I forget where, somewhere in the south. And they had this radiogram in their lounge. And if you slide back one of the speaker grills, in there was a transmitter and receiver, Morse code key. They got discovered by the authorities, and apparently they were spies, and they were sending Morse code back to wherever it was, you know, their home country somewhere, and yeah, built into the radiogram. And I remember the neighbours on the television saying that they were just a normal couple, kept themselves to themselves, but quite nice, friendly people. Never any trouble, no noise or anything, and they're spies. Seagulls are getting louder. So there we are. You'll be looking at your neighbours now thinking, I wonder about that chap. Keeps himself to himself. I wonder whether he's a spy. No, I shouldn't think. Wait, I don't know. You don't know, do you? Of course, going back to tunnels, the Channel Tunnel, I think that was all chalk, wasn't it? The whole lot was chalk all the way through. Do you know, I thought when they dug that, I thought they were going to find things like alien spacecraft that had crashed like 1 million years ago, and they'd find the remnants of this spacecraft. Can you hear that? That's a plane, a jet plane going over. Don't hear many of those these days, jet planes. I looked on my aircraft map, so you can see all the aircraft movements. I've got one for shipping as well, for the channel, the English Channel, which is quite interesting. But it's almost devoid of planes now. Imagine the work digging out tunnels. When the Channel Tunnel was built, we had some pretty modern equipment, machinery. But go back to the 30s, the 40s, well, even way back before then, digging out all those tunnels. Most of it must have been by hand. Hours and hours, well, months, years, digging it all out. And what did they do with all the chalk? You go up to Ventnor, up the hill there, look round. Actually, there are some hills. Yeah, there are some sort of man-made hills, but nothing. They must have taken it all away. There aren't any mountains like, what is it in Wales? The slag heaps from the coal mines. There's nothing like that. They must have taken it all away. I wonder what they did with it. Perhaps they chucked it in the sea, made it sort of landfill in the sea or something to extend the land. Because a lot of the island, Isle of Wight, is crumbling into the sea, isn't it? On the south side of the island. Black Gang Chine, if you've been there over the years, it's crumbled, and you can look over the fence and see the old footpaths and bits and pieces where the public were able to go. It's now all crumbling into the sea. And there were houses, weren't there? I think there's a video you can see of this house or houses just sort of crumbling down the cliff. It's such a shame because it can't be stopped. Well, it could be stopped, but it's money again, isn't it? Everything's money. I don't know why we just can't print a load of money. Printers all £1 million each. That'd be rather nice, wouldn't it? So there we are, secret tunnels, secret underground bunkers and goodness knows what else. I wonder what's down there, under the ground, under bungalows, under buildings in the middle of nowhere. I suppose we'll never know, will we? There's somewhere else I'd like to go and explore apart from underground bunkers and tunnels. Is it the Mariana Trench? Is it Marina Trench, Mariana? They reckon at the deepest point it's something like nearly 7 miles. Imagine that, nearly 7 miles deep. And I heard somewhere on the telly, I think it was the other day, there was a documentary. Someone went down there. These people went down in this specially built submarine thing. 13,000 psi, I believe, the pressure. 13,000 pounds per square inch. I'm sure that's what they said. Check that again if you're interested. There must be ships down there that have sunk over the years, over the decades, centuries. Are there alien spacecraft down there that have crashed into the sea and gone all the way down, nearly 7 miles down, through the dark depths to the bottom? And they're still laying there. I wonder. You never know. Anyway, that's enough. Is that enough for now? Yes. Perhaps we'll talk about under the oceans next time. We've done under the ground. Although we haven't, have we? There must be so much more underground. If you know anything about any tunnels or bunkers, contact me, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I think man, I heard, has spent more on space exploration than we have on under the oceans, having a look down there to see what's there, which is, I suppose it's natural, isn't it? Because you can see the stars and everything and other planets. So it's natural to go and have a look at those rather than what's under the water. Thanks for listening as always. I shall see you next time. Bye bye for now.